Hey, Tori, thanks so much for joining the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. To get started, can you tell us a little bit about your journey in design?
Yeah, for sure. So I started as a graphic designer, and so I've worked in a couple different fields of graphic design. But about 5 years ago or so, I kind of made that pivot into UX design and strategy. And so my early years kind of bounced around different career paths. Worked for a financial institution and had some internships in different places, and then I eventually found my way into sports. And so sports is where I've been for the past almost 10 years now as a creative.
And where in sports are you currently?
Yeah, so right now I am the UX and design manager with the Denver Broncos, and I'm also an entrepreneur and kind of pursuing some different interests there and building a community for women working in sports.
Oh yeah, let's get into that new product you're launching in a second. I think sports is an interesting area. I think so many people they love it, right? Like it's such a passionate area. Like tell me about that and designing for sports. So like interested in like not only like the fan experience, but just kind of like how do you navigate? Um, it's a unique audience.
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to being a creative, I think, in sports, and so, it's interesting because early on, there was a lot, around, making the coolest graphic possible, and I think now from a look and feel standpoint, creative has really evolved, for, like, just team accounts especially, which is where most of my experience lies, but you're really trying to balance putting, the players in the best light with whatever the business outcomes are, the message that you're trying to communicate, and all of these different things touch every sector of the business. So whether that's the video board or social media or a mobile app or a website, the goal is really to have a more cohesive look across all of those. And so a lot of communication, a lot of cross-functional, working together and really making sure that we put the best product possible out there for our fans.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, let's talk about. I know you're launching a new business. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah, it's called, Herizon Connect, and so the idea is that this is going to be a custom designed mobile app and digital platform for women working in sports, and it'll connect women to the different events, the organizations, to each other, all in one place, and so really kind of wanna brand it as the digital home for women working in sports, so just really a place where we can kind of grow and kinda come together, kinda get between the lines of the resume, and just kind of build that camaraderie and those connections that really help sustain your career in sports because sports is really like unlike anything else when it comes to profession and like working in it. So the more we can kind of learn from each other, grow together in the same direction, I think the better it's going to be for everybody, honestly.
Absolutely love that. Well, what was like the impetus for that? Like, is there just a lack of community for women in sports, or
So, yeah, great question. So, from my experience, the resources kind of felt fragmented a little bit. So, you've got, these different Slack channels, you've got, newsletters, different organizations are already out there doing amazing work for women working in sports and women's sports. So, how can, we create something that's a little bit more cohesive where, I'm not scrolling on LinkedIn and I find an event that looks really cool, but it happened 3 weeks ago. You know, I build that place where you can kind of go and see what's happening, whether that's sports specific around conferences or, events that advance women professionally and have a lens on that as well. So why not put everything in one place to make it easier for women to find those resources and community?
yeah, I love that. And is this focusing on in person? Because I think after COVID, there's still well two things. I think after COVID, there's still a lot of remote, and some people miss that in person connection. And then I think with I think there's like a new level of isolation and FOMO of people are just heads down in AI tools further from maybe community, and they talk about like AI brain fog after you're in the tools forever. Like, what? How are you thinking about having people come together?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Horizon Connect is going to be the connector and the through line for a lot of these different events that are happening in person. So our goal is really to be that digital home. So after the conference ends and you're hyped up and you've learned all this really cool stuff and you met all these cool people, you can continue those relationships and conversations within this platform. And so, at a base level, it's really trying to keep those conversations going and kind of being that resource in your pocket to be able to go ask the community a question or brainstorm or share something personal that you'd like to share about something that happened last weekend or some event that you attended. So it's really meant to be that digital connector across everything. So while we'll be collaborating with some of our allies for in-person events, Horizon Connect is meant to be the thing that you can kind of pull out of your pocket at any point in time and build a relationship or find an answer to something or find an event or organization.
I love that. I wonder if we'll see more of that. It feels like LinkedIn, as you mentioned, the product's gotten so bloated and spammy. And you mentioned seeing something from 3 weeks ago. It seems like that's the entire feed now. So I wonder if we'll be
Mhm.
seeing more niche, basically like communities. I want to go back to something else you alluded on. You mentioned like the rise of women's sports league. I feel like the WNBA has finally like I don't know if I should say taken off, but growing a lot. And then NWSL, like, are you seeing more women getting into sports because of this, or what is that changing in terms of working in sports?
Yeah, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, like, the WNBA for me, especially for me growing up as a WNBA fan, like, the WNBA has always been, incredible for me and,
Yeah,
like, just experience and, has always been, some of those competitive women on this planet, playing the game, and so it's great to see the visibility now that it has and just the strategy, honestly, that they've been executing to continue to grow the fan base, and the players are always awesome to follow, all of that stuff, so I think for me, like, there's this surge that's really exciting to see where women who are already competing at this level are now, you know, having the opportunity to be seen by more people. The games and matches are on more channels. Like the accessibility is just different. And so when the whole phrase, like when you seek her, you can be her, that's not a cliche for no reason. Like it's said because it's true. And so that's definitely something that I've noticed. Where yes, there is more awareness of the fact that one, you can even work in sports and it doesn't have to be you don't have to be a coach or an athlete. Work on the business side and you can bring all those talents that you've, worked so hard to build in your universities or through other jobs and bring those over to sports. And so it's been exciting to see kind of this surge of awareness for different types of careers for working in sports.
yeah. No, no, I love it. And then here in Denver, like the NWSL, I feel like they're getting a new stadium, and it'll probably be more popular than the than the men's team, which is crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we were actually able to go to that game at Empower Field, and it was just such an incredible, like, experience. You just had goosebumps the whole time just because of, it was, the fanfare, not only that, but just the impact, the history that was being made that you were a part of, and just it was just such an awesome experience.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great game. Let's talk about AI. How are you changing, evolving how you design with AI, or how you encourage your team to utilize AI?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I've just had recently some conversations about that. And for us, it's interesting because AI is evolving so rapidly. And we also have like on the side of where I'm the UX manager, and leading a team, it's really trying to use AI to kind of teach ourselves things. So whether that's plugging different things into Copilot and saying like, how do I do this thing? Or can you help me get a code snippet that I can review for, X, Y, and Z. Like there's just different things where I think it's expanding our knowledge and also allowing us to create a little faster as well. I mean, even just prototyping things. Like I took 5 minutes to prototype something in Figma Make the other day to help communicate something that we're looking to do, like with IT and helping us, build something. And it was just great because I could give them the requirements document, right? And I could also give them a link to a prototype I put together in like 5 minutes in Figma Make. So I think it's just the impact on your workflows and just prompting you to be more creative. And that's been really significant for us in this off season and really just educating our team on the ways to use AI and not to use AI. And so that's been great. On the business side, I feel like AI is especially as a solo founder, AI has really helped me move faster and think more clearly and helps me like automate some of my tasks as well. While I have an amazing group of advisors, there's still a lot of stuff that I'm kind of doing and try to figure it out on my own. And so that's been great to kind of just have another point of brainstorming and ideation. And the best part about AI is like you can take what you want and leave what you don't. And so that's been really helpful to just even like iterate on designs I'm creating or different flows I want to create and kind of testing those out pretty quickly. So it just really gives you the ability to, you know, evolve and just iterate a lot faster.
Agreed. Yeah, and I think what you said there, leave what you don't, is something that people still need to hear. Like I see people,
Yeah.
getting invested in something they made from AI, and it's like you made that in 5 minutes. How many more iterations can you do, and how much more
Right.
exploration can you do
Right.
than, the few initial outputs. Yeah, what advice do you have for people looking to get into design these days?
That is because it's so different now than it was when I first kind of came into the industry. The biggest thing I would say is like get really good at the fundamentals. I know that people have probably heard this so much, but it's so critical because just because you can go make something in 5 minutes doesn't mean you know what you're doing. And
Yeah,
also, you start talking to people about their decision making process and like, why are you putting this button here versus here? Or why is this the flow you decided? And you're not able to answer those things, that's a problem. And so really just educating yourself on like the fundamentals of human behavior, of UX, of UI, how they all work together, know the difference between the two. Like there's just so much opportunity to learn and to have knowledge about all of this for yourself first. So like don't get too carried away with the AI tools too early. That's probably what I would say first, is just like use AI as a learning tool and do your own research and read all the books that everybody tells you to read when you're getting into this a profession from a graphic design, motion design, UX, UI design, like whatever design it is, just kind of learn those fundamentals. And it's going to take you like much farther than kind of the guessing game of just using AI to kind of think for you.
yeah, could not agree more. I think especially as other departments like engineering and product are like trying to do design now, that they probably aren't as trained on those fundamentals, which are crucial. Like in an era where users are getting inundated with AI features, it's like, why did we do this, and how did we do it?
I was also gonna say too, like the fundamentals are going to set you apart from like a lot of people in this like new wave,
Yeah,
for
so true.
sure. Yeah, and like you don't only have to like know how to talk about design, you'll definitely also want to be able to understand how to talk about yourself as well, which is a huge part of that of any profession really, but just being able to articulate your decisions and talk about yourself and what you've done is huge too.
Yeah, Tori, I love it. Where can people go to follow your journey as you build and launch this product?
Yeah, for sure. So you can follow me on Instagram at Tori Boykins, or you can follow Herizon Connect at Herizon Connect, and Horizon is spelled Her. So you can find
.com.
me there. Yeah, yeah, horizonconnect.com or at Herizon Connect on Instagram. You can also follow us on LinkedIn on my personal or the business page as well.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, Tori, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the new product.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. Thanks,
All right.
Alex.